Hi YouTube, my name is Jack, and today we are going to talk very briefly about Sabbats and the Wheel of the Year, and this particular Sabbat on the Wheel of the Year. It is spooky season, right? Halloween is tomorrow. I have my costume all picked out. It's gonna be great. Um, and this is the time of year that witches really like to sort of come out of their shell. Culturally, this is the spooky time of the year, so this is the time where everyone is watching horror movies and where things like ghosts and witches and vampires and whatever else are in the sort of popular imagination. It's the time that feels witchy. You can go to Target and buy witch hats and cauldron themed coffee mugs and all sorts of other things like that. And And don't get me wrong, I love it, right? Like, I love horror movies as much as the next girl. Um, but I think that because of the prominence of witchcraft in media at this time of year, and because of the way that collectively our culture sort of treats this as the witchy time of year, a lot of people espouse the opinion that Samhain or Halloween or whatever you want to call it is their favorite Sabbath. A lot of witches will say that Samhain is their favorite Sabbath. And I kinda don't believe y'all. Like, um, if that's really the case, if it really is your favorite Sabbath, good for you, I guess, but how on earth is this your favorite Sabbath? Um, Again, like, I love Halloween as a cultural holiday. I love dressing up and giving out candy to trick-or-treaters and going to Halloween parties. That's all super fun. I love uh, watching scary movies and reading horror books and, right, like, all of that. I'm here for it. Going to haunted houses, whatever else. Definitely on board. I also love just the season of this time of year, right? The weather is more comfortable. I'm wearing a cardigan. It's nice and cool outside. The leaves are changing colors. It's beautiful. All of these things are great. But when we talk about the actual Sabbath, when we talk about ritualizing Halloween in a pagan context, more often than not, people are treating this Sabbath as the festival of the dead. And that's not fun. Like, this is the heaviest, most somber, most emotionally difficult holiday on the Wheel of the Year. Um, Generally speaking, if you go to a Samhain ritual with more than one person, somebody's gonna cry. At least one person is gonna cry. This is, among other things, a time when people are able to sort of set aside and really process grief, including recent grief from people who've died in the past year, but also from, people who died years ago, decades ago, whose absence you still feel. It is potentially a time to reckon with your own mortality. Like, these are heavy topics. Um, Lots of people will do some kind of necromancy around Halloween, right? Inviting the spirits of the dead to come back and join them. And that can be joyful, but it is always touched by an awareness of death and a feeling of grief that accompanies it. And, like, it's just heavy. I'm not saying that this is a bad holiday. I think it's a really important holiday. I think it is significant. I think that just psychologically, like, everyone needs that time and that space to process grief and to think about death. And I think that one of the things that paganism broadly as a religious movement, I think one of the things that paganism does well is giving people space to process grief and death in a healthy way. But I don't believe anyone when they say that it's their favorite, right? It's important, it's significant, it's healthy and appropriate to do all of that. All of that is true. But are you really telling me that you wouldn't rather be, I don't know, throwing a Christmas party or dancing around a maypole or whatever it is that you're going to do at some of the more like joyful Sabbats? Um, yeah, I just, and again, like if it really is your favorite, by all means, go for it, do it. That's great. But for me, this is just a really heavy, heavy Sabbath, and I observe it out of a sense of duty because I do feel an obligation, particularly as a member of a Wiccan priesthood, right? This is one of our festivals, and I have a responsibility to my gods and to my dead to observe them on this day. But it's not my favorite, and I do it because I have to and not because I enjoy it. There are other holidays that I observe because I enjoy them. This one I do out of a sense of obligation. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of all I have to say. Is just like, how could this possibly be anyone's favorite holiday? I don't get it. I have done two Samhain or Halloween rituals up to this point. I have another one yet to go. At both of the two that I've already ascended, people were crying, like and big, ugly, blubbering, right? And and that's okay. That's healthy. That's what this holiday is for. And it is an important catharsis. Those are important emotions that we need to be able to ritualize. But like it's not my favorite, y'all. It's really not. This is like I don't know, like going to the doctor or going to the dentist. You do it because it needs to be done. But I don't know anyone who's like, yippee, I get to go to the dentist next week. Like, even if it doesn't upset you, even if it doesn't bother you, it's not fun. It's not my favorite way to spend an afternoon. So, anyway, this is gonna be a short video. That's all I got. If you do love this Sabbath, and not just like the cultural stuff around how witchy it is, and not just the like seasonal, pleasant weather, but like if this actual Sabbath, if the ritual of this Sabbath is really and truly your favorite, I would love to hear why. Because it has never been mine. But have a good day. I have to go to work. I'll talk to you sometime soon. Bye.